Hi, vibrations, sweet babies. We're here doing another reading, and yeah, I have been kind of feeling into this reading for a little bit. We just went through a black moon, okay, otherwise known as Lilith's moon, and a new moon. Together, this energy was bringing about like a lot of yin, void, like the complete unknown, the complete nothingness, like shedding, releasing, letting go, and making way for something very intentional and new. And I think it's very divinely aligned, especially with being in Virgo season and being in the sign of Virgo. It feels like it's a lot about being intentional and being very directional. And yeah, oh my God, as I was literally about to say, this whole reading is about letting go. And I just split the deck, and let go is the card. Someone, you, people around you, the whole collective, multiple people may have had to let go of something under, oh my God, let me not get emotional, under this moon. But not only under this moon, I think this was really there's my baby boy. Quick welcome back if you are collective and community, because I kind of dove right into this reading. It's like on the tip of my tongue, ready to go. But just to introduce myself, my name is Hannah. I'm otherwise known as Bunny, and I love to read into energies, and I do so usually in my family's home when I'm kind of catching up between my travel, which I do for work as a full-time model, and I like to sit with my Troy boy, my good old pal, my doggo, and shuffle cards. This is what I do to make sense out of all of the things that are coming into me in my experience, what I'm noticing, what I'm feeling into. It's where I reroute myself and ground myself. And what I think is really interesting, as I've been doing this now for almost a full year, if you can believe it, the environment here has completely changed. It's always changing. It is ever changing. And it really has nothing to do with the space, the environment itself. It has to do with the practice of me deciding to sit down, deciding to be with my beautiful boy, my doggo, and really just feel into it, let it flow, let it pour out of me. And this is a practice I could do literally anywhere, but there is a reason that I come here and I do it. And the ancestry card did come out here. Family reunion, honoring our roots. Where do you need to go to get rerouted and connected back to your core? And we're going to get into that in a second, because that's going to be very necessary during this upcoming season of change. So we went through that really transformational, transitional energy, which might have been like kind of catapulted during the Lionsgate 8-8 portal we went through not too many weeks back. And this sort of feels like, okay, you wanted to go through that portal, but you have to remember 1212 on the timestamp. 12 was actually a number that I wanted to make note of in this reading. You have to let go. You will always have to let go and make room. And that's literally what the card here says. Make room for the new beginning on its way to you now. In order to go through a threshold and welcome in like divine change, maybe you released a cycle, maybe you wanted to step into a time in your life, a cycle in your life, seasonal cycle in your life, right? That felt different in a particular way. That was going to require you to make room for something new. And every year we have to go through this kind of energy in some way, right? The wheel of the seasons has us go through pretty much these same sort of lessons always, but in different ways, right? Then it's just the divine nature of life, nature. So when we look at the wheel of the year and we look at the seasons and how they're experienced in our world, region to region, it might be experienced differently. But here, for me, the seasons of life are very much so, you plant seeds. You nourish that initial intention, that initial thought, that initial goal with love, care, curiosity, wonder, tenderness, and you begin to see it flourish. Some seeds don't go into fruition, and there's a lesson in that too, but some of them do. And how you tend to that soil, how you tend to what is becoming fruitful for you. How do you use the fruits of your labor? What do you do with it? Do you feed your community? Do you feed your family? Are you, how are you experiencing life outside of yourself and experiencing life with others in the moment, not only under the soil, but above the soil? And then we have to go through every season, right? We have to go through this wheel where we're asked to then let go, and we have to watch what we've created, what has become fruitful, what has manifested in our experience. In some time, in some way, eventually it will be required to be let go. Everything will at some point have to require us to let go. Our sheer existence here in this beautiful world, in this beautiful universe, at some point will be asked to let go. It is the nature of life. And then we return to the womb, right? In that very same moment of letting go, of understanding everything has its timeline, its ending and its beginning, right? Understanding that in that very same moment, something new begins, a rebirth. And it goes back to the void, winter, the winter of our life, where things are still, things are quiet, it is open, it is blank, and we can reflect on what that wheel of our life, that wheel of the season really taught us, and how it really evolved us into our new, age, our new lap around the sun. What are we going to take with us from each of those years, each of those seasons that we just went through? For some people don't like that place, that still place, that place of things maybe slowing down, being cold, having to reflect, having to look back, having to come to complete union with what is. That's hard. It's not an easy thing to do. But for some people, the scary part is the change, the fall of our lives, the autumn of our lives, where we're asked to let go of something that we once really, really were so intentional to see bloom, to see fruit, be in fruition and be fruitful, but then all things have to be let go. And when we can master the art of detachment, that's when we find a really beautiful place of peace and freedom, right? That doesn't mean don't get attached to anything ever at all. What it means is, to me, it's a skill of acceptance and being able to be truly present and enjoying the moment with what you have in front of you and what is. Because you are in agreement with the idea that nothing is forever. And what is here now may not be here tomorrow. It's just the nature of life. It's just the way it is. C'est la vie. So before I try to read into these cards too much, because I think they'll probably just explain themselves once I get this initial message out. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay. I wanted to say this to you for a while now, but I trust in the divine timing of things. Yep, that's definitely a message. There is a grandmother energy, grandmother spirit that's showing up in the form of spider medicine. Okay, and wherever there is a spider that is building a web around your energy or your space, it has been done out of protection. Something isn't getting caught up. And there's a grandmother spirit that's trying to catch that up and be like, nah, nope. So don't get stressed about, like, I know this is a very interesting little specific message. Don't get, like, stressed up or caught up in, like, things that have, like, cobwebs on them. Like, truly, it could be something that's dated. It could be something that's, you know, on its way out. And there's just this energy of, like, yeah, very much a grandmother medicine, spider medicine, kind of catching that up for you, slowing down its sort of impact or effects. For some reason, I'm just getting a feeling of, like, a window. That might be specifically coming through a window. Let's see. Yeah, I did say 12. And, you know, 12 is really significant in the sense of change as well. But it's also, it's more so like a transitional change, an intentional change. And it rhymes. Hi, honey. Hello, baby. I think he's going to have to go potty. Give me 1 second. Okay, back to what I was saying. Thank you for your patience, even though I paused it so you didn't have to wait. 12 is a much more intentional change in the sense of, like, when we see 555, it's like this, ooh, something's about to change beyond my control and outside of my perception, but it's not the same with 12. 12 is more of walking in the direction instead of maybe being carried, right? And I always refer back to this co-collaborative dance with the universe. Sometimes the divine source energy is taking the lead, and other times, you know, we kind of set the direction, set the pace, so on and so forth. Yeah, I've had this song. It's really interesting because this song was very prominent for me a year ago when I was also approaching and going through a massive season of change. And it was in that season of change that I understood more than ever, even though this has been, I mean, time and time again in my life. I have, you know, Scorpio Venus. I am the Saturn's child. Understanding, you know, with Capricorn stellium, like, I am constantly having to address and bring notice to and cycle break through Saturn's influence in my life. So anyway, last year, it was when I really felt into this, okay, everything is so impermanent. 37 is also significant. I, like, in the most significant of ways. I'm, like, really blown by that, to be honest. It's like your submission for this publication is got shortlisted to number 37. I connected with someone and they were like, yeah, I'm 37 years old. Talked to a photographer the other day and he's like, I've been married for 37 years. I'm like, what is happening right now? Anyway, interesting things like that. Yeah, just really interesting, like the way that specific numbers are showing up. 33 is also one of these numbers. 999, yes, but also 99, 1010, 555, let's see, 27 and 67 are also going to be significant. 27 as well. So just, yeah, as I was saying, is this feeling of like, oh, okay, I get it. Everything is so impermanent. Everything is subject to change. Even things that you think could never change will change. They can change. And we are always changing, right, as people, but there's always going to be 555 on the timestamp. You. In your core, in your heart of hearts, in your truth of truths, in your beingness of all being, there is you. Things that will not change, things that will always be you. And when I was speaking to this idea of like rerouting and coming here to this space, even though this space is constantly changing and the energy in the environment is always so different, quite hectic if I'm going to be honest here, because we unfortunately had to let go of a family pet. And in that way, you know, that feeling of having to let go and loss in that way. My mom was sort of just speaking to that whole idea too, of like sometimes when we have loss in one area of our life, pets is here in the cards, it really starts to bring up the wounds of loss in other ways in our life. And for me, with that whole season of change last year, it made it really obvious for me, like, yeah, you will experience a lot of loss in life. That's just the nature. That's just a way of things. And there will always be change. And I will surely always have to let go. That I can't resist that anymore. There's just, and that's when I came truly home and truly rooted into self, into my beingness of being. And that is what I think as a collective we're feeling into in this upcoming autumn and season of change that we're, I would say, probably entering into with all of the codes that I've been seeing lately. Like I said, a lot of 1010, a lot of 999, which are very much to me cycle breaking codes about things, contracts coming to an end in very peaceful ways, it almost feels like in true sequence, like you just felt it. You felt that cycle just coming to an end in not a tumultuous, but just a very natural, flowing way. 33 showed up again. And yeah, there's a lot of divine guidance, and I think you're feeling into that. And I think it has made this sort of entryway into this season of change a little bit more peaceful, a little bit more fluid, a little bit more harmonious. And I think there's this feeling of, just feeling very guided through this next portion of time, right? So we have these 999, which is like, okay, you're it's funny because we went through 88. There was a lot of triple eights showing up at that time. And then right as that happened, 999. And it's like, it feels so sequential. It's like, okay, you put that intention out there. You want to feel abundant in these areas of life. Okay, the cycle has to end here then. And you're going to have to make room with this. And it's coming to a close. You're learning the lessons that are necessary. 1010 shows up. The cycle is complete. I've also been seeing, I'm sure you probably are too now because I'm with my collective. That is a very shrill beep. That is very high pitched. Triple zeros or even double zeros. goose eggs. That was coming up again last year. And I was really putting so much... I'm going to see if that's going to stop. Okay, so I think it did stop, hopefully, because that was not a pleasant beep. So, you know what's funny is when I paused it, you guys can't see this on the YouTube timestamp, but here as I'm recording it, it's down to the second, and I stopped on 37. Crazy. So, I kind of lost where I was at, if I'm being completely honest. Oh, that's right. Okay, so cycle is closed. We kind of moved through a little portion of 11:11, very minute. It's kind of coming up for me more now, which is interesting. So maybe there's something I'm going to speak on with that at a later date. But now we're here at 12:12, and it's very much this place of what do we want to intentionally manifest. It's not just this like, oh my God, I'm breaking cycles, I don't know where I'm going, what's happening, blah, blah, blah. It's like this very beautiful kind of sequential portal we went through and are moving through, and we're going through this season of change here and now, with a lot of 000 showing up to signify that it's such a blank state. It's not in a scary way, but in a way of like, anything is possible. Anything is possible. And it's like and I mean this in the most pure, powerful way like I could ever express this to you, is like, from here on out, all is possible. Don't limit yourself on what you think the outcomes might be. Don't put any kind of cap on anything right now. I really want to stress that. You may feel like there's some kind of distraction that shows up for you or is showing up for you. This could be a specific person. Aries energy might be significant here. Talk about distraction. Holy, my grandfather just came in with like the wildest energy. I had to kind of backtrack that audio recording a little bit because it was very loud. Oh my goodness. He has been doing this my entire life, where if he knows I'm in a specific room, he'll like come in and make like an animal noise or he'll like hide in the woods or something like while I'm out there playing, and like just make animal noises and like kind of play with me in that way. And it was just kind of reminded me of childhood. So anywho, yeah, there might be a specific thing going on with, I don't know if it's going to be in Aries, but it could be with a specific transit that we have going through Aries. So that's all I can really give you on that for now. But there is this feeling of like, it's really important for you to focus on coming home to yourself. That does not have to mean it's in a home environment. This does not have to be about a residence. Some of you collective may have been looking for home in a residence, but what you've actually been needing is to come home to yourself. And it's like, enjoy the home in yourself, of being yourself, of coming back to yourself in all of your circumstances. I want you to know that like there's a lot of angel symbolism showing up here now, and maybe it's interesting, but like when you connect to like your guides and you connect to your spirituality, when you connect to something that makes you feel like you're connecting to angels, or even just like the people around you, it just feels like, oh my God, these people are angels type of thing. That might be when you at least begin to feel the safest to really be with yourself and connected to yourself and at home with yourself. For some reason, I'm feeling like very much like a community energy, but it's like extremely specific. Like it is a very, like, it is a built, sustained community. It is hosted, maybe. It just feels like a very specific circle or group around you. And it feels like, you know, when you go there, that you are going to have community around you. When you are in this space, people are in agreement with you. When you are in this building or around these people or whatever it is, like, you are very much supported and divinely supported in that moment as well. Something to do with keys and opening doors was symbolic for us before, and I think it's going to also be symbolism for this time and in this space. And it's really interesting because, yeah, you're like on the right path with all of this. And even though you may not know really the direct outcome or like how it's all going to unfold specifically, to me, it just feels like you have really fallen into trust from maybe the last time around this season of change last year as a collective. We kind of were really on our knees hoping and praying doors would open. And now in this season of change, we have fallen into complete trust and agreement with source energy that doors will open. And you know this because of the resilience that you've had to face, or I'm sorry, the resilience that you've had to have and the things that you have faced in the past. I'm going through changes. I'm going through changes. I'm going through changes. You know, just that kind of energy right now. So this is really interesting. There's somebody who's very much influential and important to your journey in life. You might see how this plays out and become significant through the next couple months here as we go through this beautiful divine season of change, right? Just like when the leaves have to go through a complete transition, like, and I mean complete, meaning it has the cycle of life has been completed, right? And the leaves change. They go from vibrant, lush greens to orange hues, yellows, crimsons, maroons, and then they have to just fall. They just let go. The life cycle's complete. It's done what it needed to do. And every year, just like that, everything just dies. Like it's nothing. What? Like what? The beauty in that is so poetic and profound to me. And it's this really beautiful, gradual process that I love getting to witness here in the Northeast, in my region, my crevice of the universe. And so funny how things come full circle sometimes, literally. And that's sort of what this season of change is all about. It's like you realize now, okay, full circle, I get it. Another full circle, another full circle. And what do I learn? Who have I become through this circle? And yeah. There's a lot of like needing to let go, and this could be with people around you, past versions of self, old ideas, things, clutter, things you're holding on to for no real good reason. But regardless, it feels like there's going to be a specific circumstance, maybe regarding a specific person. This could be a water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. This could have to do with a situation where you feel extremely either emotionally or physically at a distance from either this person or what this person was supposed to bring into your life. This could just be like a symbol of something. Like this person itself could be very much a symbol of things that you've had to face in your life. And for some reason, I feel like this has to do with father wounds. I think it has to do with maybe the feelings of or acts of betrayal. And it could be this feeling of just confusion, having to do with physical and or emotional distance, and how this has shown up in your life and how this has really impacted you and maybe distracted you from being really in just full agreement and full flow with who you are, your life as it is. And you're seeing it now, and it's going to be sort of like an interesting influence on this upcoming portion of your life. We'll see how it goes. Maybe I'm wrong. But that's kind of it. It's like you're not really questioning that anymore, and you are kind of understanding, like, why was I questioning that in the first place? There might be somebody specific who has their eye on you at the moment, and I'm not talking spectator energy, kind of just maybe looking over you, looking after you, or just looking in your general direction. And this person might be an air sign, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. I'm actually a little bit curious about that. I want to get more clarity around them and what their significance is. In this sort of area, chapter, season of our life. Okay, interesting. Okay, interesting. I'm gonna just pull a couple of so this person might be a karmic masculine in your life. 37 just came out. Wow. 333. I'm going to be really so blunt here based on what I'm seeing. This is a season of change that you're meant to go through individually. So if you're in a relationship, great, have fun, enjoy your love. But still remember that you are your own individual person, and you being at home with yourself can only benefit the other person in your relationship if you are in one or if you want to be in one. And until you are in that space, you may experience some, and I'm not even going to say until you're in that space, because even when you operate from that space, you can be faced with opposition. You can be faced with people who really are just into that, into your energy, into your stability, into your true union with self, and they might want some of that. They might really like that and want some of that, but you have to listen to your body, listen to your health. I'm thinking like your body is very much vocal right now, and when something feels off, you'll notice it and you'll feel it. It's like gut feeling, but times 10. Like you might have like full on health concerns that show up when you're around someone who is trying to like literally like harvest your energy and take from you, and instead of finding their own roots, finding their own self, finding their own, you know, home, stability, foundation, resources, etc. There's a lot of like self-love that you need to be connecting to and giving to yourself in this time and in this space. Like I said, when you are at home in yourself, you're only going to be better to those you love and be able to offer the kind of things that any person would really need from someone they love. Red flags are very much important for you to pay attention to right now. Things that you ignore most certainly will show up again. Like, especially if the universe is trying to show you and guide you in this time and space. Like, if you try to ignore something, like, it will show up again. You're too tapped in, tuned in, turned on to be ignorant to things that are just so clearly not right for you. You are in a really manifesting place in your life. Like right now, yes, I'm going to say something that a lot of spiritual people, or a lot of like, you know, woo-woo, you know, vibey people kind of are a little cringed by, but the veil is thinning. And I'm not talking about the veil between the afterlife or whatever, like some people like to dive into around October and all that. No, we're talking about the time, like a time collapse. Feeling like this time last year was only like seconds ago. It's like right there, 37 on the timestamp. It's not that far away. It's right there. And being able to kind of collapse time and be able to go into these mindsets, to be able to really feel into specific things that felt really aligned at your soul. It's like your higher self is like winking to you in this moment, like when you felt really present. This could have been a vacation that you were on that's very much coming up for you and just felt so right in your heart and your soul. And it's like you can just close your eyes and feel like you're there again. And you remember how you felt in that moment and what you were like laughing about. And you were so present and so dropped in. And in that time, you are able to like almost wormhole, like you can go back to that time and kind of manifest from that space and from that energy. I see you being able to really connect with your own gifts in this time and space of like what you want from here on out, right? Triple zeros. It's possible. Anything is possible for you here on out. You not only accepted that you have to let things go, but you've done it and you're doing it and you've made the space, and now you are able to really call in new things because you're in this place of just complete openness and acceptance. You're also committed. You're committed to something very specific. Again, relationships are not the topic of this conversation, or this reading rather, because we're not talking. You're just listening to me, and I thank you and I appreciate you. But you are committed to whatever it is that you are trying to manifest in your life right now. You are committed maybe to your spirituality or to your highest and greatest good. You're very much committed to being in agreement with life, that this whole path, that this whole experience here is right for you. Like you're exactly where you need to be. You're doing everything you can, and you're just here to really be. And that is something you're just committed to. And anything that feels off or feels like a distraction or a deterrent from that, it's unserious, because the most serious thing for you right now is really being fully at home and fully in union with yourself. You are tending your own flame right now. There is like no need to get down the rabbit hole of like, oh my God, I need to manifest my true love and my twin flame. And if I walk on this path in life, I'm like, no, that's first of all, just counterintuitive, because the only way you can manifest I would say a divine union, if you want to go down that rabbit hole, right, is to be in full divine union with yourself. So let go of all of that and come to this idea of you are your twin flame. You are who you have to walk through life with. You are who you have to come home to. You are who you have to be in full agreement with. And when you commit fully to whether that is through a religious practice, a spiritual belief system, whether that's through the actions you take, the habits that you have in your life, you need to be fully committed to and in agreement with yourself first and foremost. And I think you feel that now more than ever. And I think that you feel this when you have your hands together in prayer. Yes. And I think that you know how serious it is now to have that connection to self and to source more than ever, because a lot of people around you may not. And again, it comes back to this feeling of like, people will want that, but they have to do that for themselves. They cannot access it through you. You might be a pivotal figure in their life to help them attain that or know that that's what they want, but they have to do that for themselves. So this might be really a season of change that you have to kind of walk through very much individually. Everyone else is having their own season of change. What is yours? Like, what is it that you are coming home to in this season of change that keeps you rooted while everything else around you is going through a transition or must be let go of? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to leave it at that. I think my buddy wants to come inside anyway. So I'm sending you lots of love in, and I'll talk to you soon.